So I think we're live now. Let's see. Jade, can you check your phone to see if we're live? Yeah. Okay. So I think we're live. Charlie, you gotta look pretty for the camera. Are we live?
No, I have to give it a second.
I'm gonna check my phone to see if we're live, and hopefully. So I think we're live now. Okay. Yes, we're live. Beautiful. So, welcome to the Harvland apartment. We've got special guest Charlie. He has nothing to do with anything we're talking about. He's just a nosy little butt. Yes, I know, I love you. So today I'm going to be talking with you all about lube, and my love of lube, and your love of lube, and we just all love lube. Cat hair everywhere. So why I wanted to talk about this, it has nothing to do with Easter, but I want to say Happy Easter. But lube is one of the most underrated things in this world, that doesn't get the recognition and attention that it really deserves. And I kind of snuck into one of the stores here and grabbed a couple favorites to show you all, just because I didn't have enough at home and I didn't want to show you my gross, like, lubey bottles that we have here. So just kind of, I guess, the basics of why somebody might need lubricant. First of all, it makes sex more fun. It can get sex going a little bit faster if somebody needs a little more time for their natural lubricant to kind of get flowing, if you will. It's also great for vaginal dryness, anal sex of any kind. And then as far as the vaginal dryness goes, that could be caused by any number of things. Age, it could be having to do with certain medications. I know when I was on birth control, it was dry as a desert down there, and I had to use lube, otherwise it was really uncomfortable. So we started, well, we didn't start using lube then, but we started using it a lot more. I will say now we probably use it a good half of the time that we're having sex. And any kind of butt stuff, 100% of the time, you're gonna need some lube. So what kind of lubricants are out there? There's 4 main types. That's water-based, which is the most common. If you go to CVS, you'll see things like KY and Astrolide, which I highly, highly do not recommend. And then there's silicone, and then hybrid, which can be a mix of silicone and water-based. And then finally there's oil-based. Now oil-based is probably the most rare, because it's just not been a focus of most lube companies, and I only have one oil-based lubricant to show you today, that I picked out separately that we have lying around in our kitchen, just because it's not condom compatible. It will actually break down your condoms, and most oils are not good for internal use. So as a masturbatory aid, they work just fine, but for vaginal use, they can mess up the natural flora and fauna that you've got going on down there and lead to infection, which you really don't want. So water-based, that is going to be generally a mix of water and glycerin. Oh, yep. Computer's doing weird things. I grabbed quite a few different water-based, and one thing that, as a sex educator, a standard that I hold myself to is I never recommend something that I wouldn't be comfortable using myself. And so the ones that I grabbed to show you all today are ones that I personally either have used, would recommend, have looked into, double checked that they're okay. And I'm really sensitive, so most lubricants on the market are not compatible with my body. And I don't know if you are all the same way, where you use a certain lubricant and suddenly you're really dry, or like afterwards, after using it, or you get an infection, or that kind of thing. The lubes that I picked out, that you won't have to worry about. So the first lubricant that I grabbed is this Wicked Simply Aqua. I was very, very excited. Let's see if it'll, there we go. I was very, very excited when Wicked came out with these because, let me just double check. They're latex friendly, so pretty much all water-based is going to be compatible with condoms. Let me see ingredients. It is, yes, free of glycerin. And so glycerin, if you're particularly sensitive, is one of those ingredients you're going to want to look for to avoid, which is why I was so, so excited to see when Wicked came out with their glycerin-free line, which they just call Simply Aqua, and then there's Simply Hybrid. Another thing that I was very excited for was Simply Aqua Jelly. This one is great if you need a little bit more cushion. So it's not as liquidy. It's going to stay in place where you put it. It is, I wonder if I can show you. This is the tester, which we pulled all the testers, and this just came out, I think, a couple weeks ago. So I am the first one to try it. Let's see here. So I wonder if I can show you on camera how nice and thick it is. Jellies are also going to be really good if you do have anal sex. See how it's not running all over the place? It's just kind of staying where I put it. Nice and thick, gummy, but it's not sticky. So I'm just going to rub that into my hands. And that's really good if you do have anal play, because water-based lubricants are toy safe and they're latex safe. So those are two kind of very important things when you're looking out for your lubricants. And that one, especially if you have a silicone anal plug that you're using to prep yourself for penetrative anal play, or if you're just playing with a silicone anal plug, it makes it really easy to wash off afterwards, because you just use water. It just rinses off super, super easy. I'm gonna wipe my hands on my pants. Don't need napkins. And then the next couple that I grabbed, I really only grabbed 4 different brands. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I grabbed 5 different brands, not all water-based. The next one that I wanted to show you was Divine 9. So Divine 9 and Sliquid Oceanus. Ah, come on, focus. Focus. There you go, beautiful. That's Sliquid Oceanus and Divine 9. These 2 lubricants are what's called trying to conceive friendly, or TTC friendly. To be considered TTC friendly or trying to conceive friendly, it has to be water-based. It has to be glycerin free. It has to have a pH at or above a 7, a low osmolality, which means it's not going to take moisture away from your soft tissues, and then it can't have any effects such as warming or cooling. All of those are just because semen and sperm are they're picky and they're sensitive, and everything else can either slow it down, kill it, that kind of thing. And obviously, if you're trying to conceive, avoid things like spermicidal lubricants. So those 2 are the ones that we have at Enchantises. Both of them you can find on our website. They're trying to conceive friendly. The next set of water-based that I wanted to show you are flavored. If you're going to be using them for internal use, so that means not just for blowjobs, but for like penetrative play, either anally or vaginally, you want to avoid sugar or anything that says sucrose, sucralose, that kind of stuff. The 2 that I picked out are from Wicked and Sliquid. In case you didn't notice, I like those 2 brands. And really the only difference between the 2 of them, I like to describe Wicked's flavored lubricants, ooh, wrong way, as more ice cream, whereas Sliquid's flavored lubricants are more like a sorbet. So these ones are going to be more desserty, more sweet flavors, whereas these ones are a bit more fruity and light flavors, and they're both sugar-free. This one uses aspartame and this one uses stevia. So you're good to use them anally, vaginally, for a blowjob, whatever you want. A couple reasons you might want to use a flavored lubricant is generally for oral play. So it can mask the flavor of natural lubricants or semen or whatever you're playing with. The next lube that I wanted to show you all is a silicone. So this one is called Uberlube. I don't know if you can see very well. Uberlube. So this one is silicone with a little bit of vitamin E. The reason they have that vitamin E in it is because it helps it absorb into the skin better. So you don't really have to wash it off. I would still recommend peeing after sex, but you don't have to go and take a full shower, whereas some silicones can have a gritty feeling. They can have a just gross oily feeling without being in oils. So silicone is, I don't know if you've ever heard of silicone toys. It's the same stuff in a different form. Silicone lubricants you do have to be careful with. They're not compatible with a majority of the sex toys on the market. They are good with things that are non-reactive. So they're good with metal toys, glass toys, stone toys, ABS plastic toys are all silicone compatible. But if you have anything that's jelly, anything else that's silicone, you don't want to use it with the silicone lube just because those are not going to be compatible. It'll kind of melt your toy or have this gummy sensation to it. And then that one, generally you do have to use soap to wash it off if you are going to wash it off. And then really great for anal sex because it does last so long. And then the one in between, it's kind of like the best of both worlds where it lasts a bit longer but it's easier to clean up, is the hybrid. Now I picked these hybrids. It is Wicked Simply Hybrid because not a lot of hybrid lubricants on the market are glycerin free. So for people like me who are really sensitive, I can't use hybrid lubricants. The last time I tried to use a hybrid lubricant, it actually kind of had a burning sensation, which I was not a fan of. This one in particular, the Simply Hybrid Jelly, I would say this is one of the top anal lubricants on the market today because it's glycerin free, great for sensitive users, and because it's so thick. Again, bit easier to wash off than silicone, lasts longer than a water-based. If you get a little bit low, you can just reapply, take a little break, a little breather. Oh, dropping stuff. So those are the main types of lubricants. As far as the consistencies go, most lubricants are going to have a liquid, kind of a runny sensation, a runny texture. Then there's the jellies, which are a bit thicker, and then there's the creams. Creams are normally hybrids. Think of them kind of like hand creams, and there's actually a Wicked cream that I use as a hand cream because I am all about multi-purpose. And then the final thing that I wanted to show you all was the oil-based lubricant. Again, not condom compatible. This one I picked up from my kitchen. So it's organic virgin coconut oil. Coconut oil is antibacterial, antimicrobial, so you can use it as a lubricant. It's not going to last too long. It does absorb into the skin pretty fast. Make sure it is virgin. Make sure there's no additives. You don't want anything other than coconut oil in your coconut oil, just because those other ingredients could react poorly with your skin and cause issues. And then, let's see here, in ancient Roman times, people used olive oil, but that's because it's Rome, Italy, there's olive oil everywhere. So that one, if you're in a pinch and you don't have time to run to the store or the store's closed, you can grab olive oil or coconut oil, but again, make sure there's nothing in it. So no garlic olive oil or anything like that, because that's not going to go well with your sensitive bits. Finally, I do want to give a little speech about spit. So many people every day at the store go, well, why can't I just use spit? That works just fine. The thing that I want to say about saliva is that your mouth, I don't care how many times you brush it, floss it, your mouth is disgusting. It's got so many bacteria in it, and as a bonus, saliva actually contains an enzyme that breaks down proteins. Guess what our jumbly bits are made of? Protein. So they can cause infection, it can cause breakdown of tissues, microabrasions, all kinds of really not fun stuff that you don't want to happen to your sensitive areas. So just take the time to get a lubricant. They generally run under $20 depending on the size. I mean, this one right here is a 4 ounce. This will last you quite a while, unless you're like me and you put it on your ice cream, then it won't last you as long. This one in particular, if you have like vanilla ice cream and you put the apple and the caramel and it makes a caramel apple, and it's like apple strudel with ice cream, and it's just, that's a whole nother thing. But generally, if you're using it for either just sex or as an oral sex helper, they're gonna last you a really long time. We've had this bottle and it's only halfway used for a couple months now, just because it does use so little. Silicone does. You generally use a bit more water-based. It's kind of like shampoo and conditioner, where you use a lot of a lot of conditioner, but not as much shampoo. It's kind of the same thing. You're gonna end up using a lot more water-based than you are silicone. And don't forget which ones are toy compatible. Silicone, don't use it with toys. Water-based, good with toys. Silicone is good with condoms though, and most condoms do come with silicone. I don't know if all of that made sense. If you have any questions or want personal recommendations from me or any of the other staff, or if you are just like me and you are sensitive to certain lubricants and you've tried so many things and they just don't work for you, you get infection after infection, private message us at one of the Oceanus pages or leave a comment below, and we can help find the right lube for you, because I really am a proponent of everybody can use some lubricant at some point in their lives, if not all the time, just because it does make things so much better. So I do want to say thank you all for watching. Happy Easter. Thank you for joining me in my home, because the stores are closed today for the Easter holiday. It's a nice, not so beautiful Sunday outside here. It's been kind of snowing, it's cold, it's, I don't know, stay inside, don't go outside, just stay warm, and make sure to stock up on lubricants if you have the time. So we'll talk to you all later. Thanks for watching Sex Ed at 6, lubricant love, and let me see if I can turn this thing off now. End live video.